My cancer was actually found starting with my mammogram. When I had my mammogram, they noticed something was unusual, and then I had an ultrasound, and then they thought everything was fine, but ordered a 3-month follow-up, and at that point everything was not fine. So I actually credit the technology for finding my cancer as early as it was found, and at that point it was only stage 1, so there was no lymph node involvement, and things were, relatively simple and optimistic from that point of view. So I was very fortunate that that was the case. I would say from the point of diagnosis on, especially looking back, it's amazing to think of all the people that touched my life from working here. From the point of, when I look back and I think of the very first, at the point of that ultrasound, the tech who was doing that ultrasound and the radiologist at that point when he came in to tell me something was not normal, right away they were assuaging my fears and, saying everything will be okay, we'll follow up with the doctors, we'll get diagnoses about this, we'll see, exactly what's going on. Through the point of all of the tests and the trips to the lab and the trips to, because then I had a port, so I had some, I had the surgery for the lumpectomy as well then as surgery to have a port put in, and then completely through my chemo and lab tests and the cancer treatment center. The people in the cancer treatment center are just phenomenal. The help that they give patients, and it is above and beyond. It's hard to even describe that. You just feel as though everyone really, I have always felt as though everyone really cared about me. I wasn't just another patient, just another number. I was always able to take any concerns or fears to anyone, and they would do anything they could to help. I've always been proud to work at Lewistown Hospital, but I think when I see some of the programs that we have put on recently, there was a dinner that was an educational event for the public about breast cancer, and I was really proud to be a part of Lewistown Hospital and see what was being offered and all the services that are here, and the professionalism and the technology and the care of the people. I think it also has given me an extra incentive as an employee to step outside my box of my job to help other people whenever I can, more so even than I may have before. For example, there was another employee who came to me recently, and his wife was diagnosed, and he came and asked me if I minded talking to him about my experience. And in fact, I just ran into him in the hall today and followed up with him because she's had her first chemo treatment, to say how is she doing, and here's my number if she needs someone to talk to. Just any way that we can help, because that's what it's all about, and that's what makes the experience so much easier, because having cancer is devastating to so many people, and if you know that there are other people here to help, it can just make all the difference. I think some of the things that stood out to me as well were things that were maybe not even directly related to treatment. They were just related to the whole cancer experience. Like, for example, the chemo made me lose my hair. And so the whole transition to wearing a wig, and then the decision to take off my wig. And there were some instances around those things that have a whole lot of emotions tied to them. And, I found the nurses and the other staff in the cancer treatment center particularly were very helpful. It was easy to talk to them about it, and we could joke about it. And even the other patients there, I was so impressed. There was another patient on my last day of radiation. When I walked in to get my radiation, she had a pink rose for me with a little note, just because it was my last day. And she was just starting her treatment. And just the recognition of the other patients as well, and knowing what they have gone through. And sometimes, their cases were so much more difficult than mine, or they've been through so much, and you just gain so much admiration. And it's just hard to describe how all of that feels. So it's not just the treatment, it's everything else that goes with it that makes all the difference. It's just amazing. Considering such a terrible diagnosis and the outlook of that, it was okay. Everyone made it okay.